Wash? Wash? You wash? Go wash right outside. Alex, you have a son here or somebody? Check his office. Okay. What's that, Rabbi? No? I don't know. That's my we took care of that problem. Hello. Is there seats, everybody? We need more? That's fine.
Софи, мамы, слышишь, возьми всех, пошли все где-то ко мне, чтобы, потому что много женщин будет приходить, чтобы пусть со мной сидят. Пусть Ада идет. Ада, come. Okay, so Mina, you come.
If you know him, you're in trouble. Hey, Mandy.
Wait a second, please.
Tell them to stop this as soon as I give you the Mandy.
Yeah.
Mandy.
Yeah.
Baruchim Aboim. We would like to start, as customary, by reciting a Kapitel Tehillim. We'll say this Kapitel Tehillim also in the schus of all of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael, for the safety of all Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. The Kapitel Tehillim will be recited by Hatomim David Gaizinski, the Rebbe's Kapitel Kuf Chav Gimel.
Shir Amale Selachanos Hostis Eine Yoshve B'Shamayim Hine Chene Avodim Al Yad Adinehem Ke'ene Shivcha Yad Gvirte Kenenenu Al Adinei Lehenu Achi Chanenu Adinai Chanenu Kidav Savanu Boz Davas Shivalot Av Shena Alagas Hashan Nanim Aboz Legei Yoidim.
The Mishnah in Maseches Bava Basra ends off with a famous statement that the Roitzel Achkim Yasik Bedine Momenis. The Mefarshim explain that the reason a person who wants to be machkim specifically should deal with dinei mamonos with financial matters is because we find in financial matters something that we cannot find in other areas of Torah. We find in financial matters that this is something that the Torah actually speaks about in very, very brief. For example, as brought down by one of the Mefarshim, that the entire concept of Toyin Veniton, which is a whole back and forth between two litigants, in the Torah it comes up in three words, Betzedek Tishbeit Amitecha, that when it comes to the idea of judgment, ruling in court, it has to be done betzedek. How do we get to the tzedek? For that, we have a whole back and forth. And because the Torah spoke about in such short terms, Chachamim had to come and elaborate and speak at length and build the ground rules of how a court is run. Because of that also, we have this idea that a person on his own is able to elaborate and get to different ideas and different concepts and different svaros in the way we actually learn the halachas. However, on the other hand, when it comes to Isur ve'eter, over there the halachas are very, very clear. And if a person indeed has even a question, so then there are rules for that as well. If it's a d'oraisa, then we go more strict. If it's the rabbanon, we be more lenient. There are very, very clear rules when it comes to dealing with halachas in general. Whereas when we're talking about dinei mamonos, so over there we're talking about the whole idea of a person doing something on his own understanding, his own input, his own take, his own svara, his own seichel goes into it, which is why it becomes much more a part of him. But moreover, one needs to be very, very careful when dealing with dinei mamonos, because there is no rules, there is no such thing as being machmir. When it comes to halacha, if I'm going to come now to a Rav and I'm going to ask a question about any topic in Isur ve'eter, a Rav can always be machmir. A Rav can come and say, based on the rules, we're going to be strict. The issue within dinei mamonos is when it comes to financial matters, there is no way of being machmir, because if I am being machmir with one person, I'm being lenient with another. If I take money from one individual, I am giving it to another. And I don't really know up until I come to the bottom line of the court. I don't really know up until I get to the bottom line of it exactly who is the guy who needs to get what, who is the one who's winning and who is the one who's losing. So we see a very big difference between dinei mamonos, between financial matters and Isur ve'eter in general. And therefore, Chachamim tell us, if you want to come to the bottom line of a svara, you want to come to the bottom line of an understanding of a topic, the one place where a person is able to do so is specifically in dinei mamonos in financial matters. The Rebbe in Tafshin Lamed Vav in Simchas Torah, the Rebbe spoke again about the idea of doing smicha, and the Rebbe spoke also on the idea that besides for smicha, yoyre, a person should also do yodin yodin. A person should also do yodin yodin, to learn dayanis. And the Rebbe spoke about this point, that by dayanus, when it comes to financial matters, learning chosh mishpat, we do have this concept of knowing and understanding something on your own, which is why this is also something that a person can be very, very wrong on, and a person needs to have tremendous level of yiras shamayim when it comes to dealing with financial matters. The Rebbe said in the Sikha, the Rebbe spoke about this idea, and he mentioned a story that seems to be funny, but the Rebbe related it as the idea of how important it is to have yiras shamayim. and 10 times more so when it comes to the idea of dinei momadis, financial matters. The Rebbe relates that the Rav once came to him and told him that he had a whole question about specific gerus, what bracha he needs to be making by the gerus. So the Rebbe told him, what's the question? The Shulchan Aruch already rules in a certain way what bracha to make. So he told the Rebbe, yes, but I saw the Bavli and I saw the Yerushalmi and I saw the Tosefta, and between all three of them I have my idea, and I think the bracha should be a different bracha. So the Rebbe told him, but the Shulchan Aruch, the Bes Yosef, the Mechaber himself, you can say maybe he didn't see the Yerushalmi, maybe he didn't see the Tosefta because they were printed later, but he definitely saw the Talmud Bavli, and he yet thought that the bracha should be different in the way you think, and he wrote what the bracha should be. And the Rebbe said the unfortunate situation is that this Rav, according to his own understanding, actually did make a different bracha than what the Shulchan Aruch rules. And the Rebbe stressed this point that when it comes to dealing with any halachic matters, but 10 times more so when it comes to financial matters, which is a place that the halacha on its own gives a lot of room for the judge, for the dayan, to give his own input. A person needs to have a tremendous level of Yiras Shamayim in order to make sure that everything that comes from his hands does not come chas v'shalom in a problematic, negative way. We're here tonight celebrating the completion of what's called the Dayanis course, which is the foundation of Choshen Mishpat. Choshen Mishpat has a lot of practical areas as well, dealing with many, many different halachas, which we're going to continue into Mitzvah Hashem after tonight. But as the foundation of Choshen Mishpat, learning the beginning of it, the first 80 or so simonim, is what we're celebrating tonight. Learning the halachas of Ilchas Dayanim, Ilchas Eidus, Alva and Shtoris, and Toyin Veniton. Some learned already other areas as well, Gvias Choiv and other halachas, but this is the basic foundation of Choshen Mishpat. This is a tremendous achievement of 2.5 years of daily learning, of daily input, of daily effort, learning, chazering, the Shulchan Aruch, Noisei Kelim, etc. It's a tremendous milestone that we're celebrating together tonight with the Sudas Mitzvah. And as a start, we would like to honor our Chaver, Vad Rabbanu Lubavitch, Rabbi Hertz, to share a few words.
Mazel tov to all those who are here today, those who are Messiahim this program, and those who are here to be mishtatev in this beautiful simcha, and especially Shekoyach, to Rab Nachman Wolham, to the Mochen Lahira online smicha for making this event. But more than that, learning for 2.5 years every day. And I had the schus to faher a couple of times the Talmidim, and it was a very engaging. And when you faher, you have to prepare more, and you see it, the meridik chayes that each one had in learning Dayanos, learning Choshen Mishpat. Just to say two short ideas, Werther. There is a pasuk we mentioned before. V'shaftu sa'am nishpat tzedek. So the Orach Chaim HaKodesh asks, why does it say V'shaftu sa'am nishpat tzedek? You should have said V'shaftu sa'am b'tzedek. You should judge people b'tzedek, in the righteous way. What's the word nishpat tzedek? And he explains a very, very important idea, that when you come, two people come to a din Torah, two people come to litigate something. So the dayan has to first see what is the mishpat. He has to concentrate what is the halach in Torah, not who are the two people there, and try and figure out which person he thinks is saying the truth, which person is not. That's also a cheshbon. But most important, he says, is he should judge it b'mishpat, v'shavta sa'am mishpat tzedek. And this is, any person that starts learning Choshen Mishpat becomes aware and he sees that when you go through life, you have financial situations yourself and family, and Yitz Hashem, you'll be more involved. You'll understand that the most important thing is not always to hear or see who is the one who is in the Din Torah. It's what the Torah says, Mishpat Tzedek. Another very interesting word I saw just recently, there's a Gemara in Avodah Zarah that says, Kol ha'osek b'Torah b'lo gemilas chasadim. The Gemara says a very keilu Torah ein lo. What is gemilas chasadim? Gemilas chasadim means mitzvahs, but the Rabbeinu Hananel says, the Lashon Rabbeinu Hananel, Kol ha'osek b'Torah b'lvad, ve'eino mis'asik b'mitzvahs, ve'gam lo hoitzi adin la'amitoi, v'hoira ketikona. He learns Torah, but he's not mis'asik in mitzvahs, and he also doesn't try to bring the din, the amito to the emes, and he doesn't want to bring the hoira the way the psak din is. Ki'ilu gam Torah ein lo. And the reason is, and it's according to Rabbeinu Hananel, that's called gemilas chasadim, which each one of you are learning dayonos. You're not only learning for yourselves to know a little bit. It's like Torah, we learn it for ourselves, Torah lishma, but you're also doing gemilas chasadim because many people. You'll have questions, people coming to you. So even if you're not a dayan yourself yet, but you can give advice to people, not only as a toyen, but since you know the halacha, so it's a gemilas chasadim. Sometimes, many times, a person comes and he wants to make a din Torah and he thinks he has a case. And lav dafka, he has a case. And what it creates a lot of friction between family members. I mean, we're not going through cases, but recently I just heard a case of Yerusha. People have, which you're learning soon in Hilchos Tachlis, someone passes away and the family has a Yerusha and someone is living in a house and they want to sell the home. Against the parsha, they came to the Torah. And many times, and we understand it when we start learning, people think that they have a case. People think, I'm right. But if you know the halacha and you understand the lav dafka, you're right, you can give advice to other people. So that's the gemilos chasadim that we are doing to Klal Yisrael. By each one learning the Yonas should be ba'atzlocha g'dayla, and we should be zeicher for Shiva Shaftach, Rishona v'Yatzak v'Tchila, the Bias Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Amen. Yeah.
Asher Koyach Rabbi Hertz, it is worth noting when it comes to an event like this, and as it's something which is very obvious, that a celebration like this is not just a celebration of those who learn it, but also a celebration of their entire families. There's the famous teaching of Rabbi Akiva. There's the famous teaching of Rabbi Akiva who said, Shali v'shalochem shalohi. There is no effort can be put in without the support of the family, without the push of the family members, and without their entire backing throughout the entire journey. Would like to ask the first of tonight's new musmachim, the dayonos, Rabbi Shneir Hecht, a shliach in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, come and share a few words. It's my chavrasa.
I have 2 minutes on that. Yeah. 1 second. Guten Abend. Thank you, everybody, for. Is this working? Hello. Okay. Good to know with everyone. Thank you for being here. And I just want to introduce myself. My name is Schneer Hecht, and I'm a shliach in Mexico, in the west coast of Mexico, a city called Puerto Vallarta. And I had the great, incredible honor and schus for the last 2.5 years. And what? He already got me in for 5 years. The mic is not worthwhile. I'll speak loud. I had the great schus to be able to learn every single morning at the crack of dawn before the world became busy. I would log onto the computer with Tzemach Rosenfeld from Florida. But I have a few things I want to share. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Rabbi Willem, who's at the helm of this incredible Torah initiative, who brought together such amazing and serious chevra. And I have to say, being part of the camaraderie of this kind of high-level Torah learning is very, very special. I want to say my wife is on the Zoom with my children in Mexico. She wasn't able to be here. And I want to say thank you to my wife and my children who really created the space for me to be able to learn and to come onto the shiurim in our time zone. It's 2 hours earlier. It's during supper when I eat supper with my kids. So I don't like to miss that. But I was able to come on a lot of the shiurim, and I really enjoyed them immensely. But most importantly, I want to say something about the Limud HaTorah. It created a ruach of Limud HaTorah in our home and in our Chabad house. The feeling and the importance of learning, the arum, the atmosphere, the Limud HaTorah is felt in a palpable way because of the study of this Dayanis program. My children have been affected in a very positive way, and the people in our community were affected in a very positive way. This just yesterday was Shabbos. So I was in Mexico, and there was a girl who comes every Shabbos. She's becoming a Balas Tshuva, and she stays with us every Shabbos, all Shabbos, and she's learning how to be a Frumeid. And she said something to me that was very inspiring, that really inspired me, and I think that this is the idea that I want to share, and that is that she said that, Rabbi, you went to yeshiva, and you learned to be a rabbi, and of course you continue learning your regular learning things, but the fact that you're learning with this kind of intensity and at such a serious level, and to try to achieve something even greater, she said that's something that I'm very, very inspired by, and I want to do it as well. And so I decided that I want to go to seminary, and I want to really be able to learn to become a Frumeid. Another lady in our community, an older lady, she was so taken by the commitment that she's sponsoring a dinner when I come back for the whole community. Everybody's invited. So to tell the community that it's a beautiful thing what the rabbi is doing, and it should be an inspiration to everybody else. So I just wanted to share those two things. But lastly, I want to say thank you to my chavrusa Tzemach Roosevelt. We learned every single morning for the last 2.5 years, a little after 5:30 in the morning, every morning, when it's quiet, when it's dark. The world is the most beautiful. There's no distractions. We're able to really learn in a serious way. And I got to know his family through Zoom as well, his wife and his children. And I have to say that this learning gave me an anchor to my day. I started off this in the morning like this, and the rest of the day was different. Every day we didn't learn. Some days we couldn't learn. It was a different day. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for being part of this chevra, and thank you everybody for being here to celebrate. Yashar koach, everyone.
Nobody leaves till we have the group picture. Moving on to Rabbi Hecht's Chavrusa, would like to call on Rabbi Tzemach Rosenfeld, dear friend. Not sure if you
Now we know we can get the
Chaim, Choshim Rabbonim, Rabbi Wilhelm, Tayir Chavraya Kedisha, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Friends and family, Ma. The last time I graduated was when I learned how to color in the lines aleph-beis. So this is a real graduation. Mazel Tov to you. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Rabbi Wilhelm asked the group to say a couple of words about the impact, the influence. He said, don't mention my name, so I'll try to mention it as often as possible. And the influence that learning together in the group, what it meant, how it influences, how it impacts. He was giving us some pointers, but the caveat was you only have 2 minutes to speak. So, well, initially when we signed up, it was supposed to be a year and a half. So 2.5 years later, so if I have 2 minutes to speak, that's at least 10 minutes in online smicha minutes. I'll make it brief. Rabbi Hertz alluded to what is the meaning of being a dayan. And I'm speaking personally, and I know that I speak perhaps many of the group, if not the entire group, that the bren and the kach and the passion that comes with learning with this wonderful group and this wonderful meisid, the camaraderie, the chaverschaft, the love, the chazara, the questions, the tayanim that are in the group, the doctors that are in the group, the yungalite, the businessmen, the shluchim, of course, everyone that's in the group, everyone, there's a chemistry in this group that I have never experienced. And the hislavus that Rabbi Wilhelm gave us, and the patience that he taught us, what it means to be a dayan by living the example, I don't take that very lightly. I take that very seriously. Now I have the title dayan. Doesn't mean I'm going to be sitting on a bezdin anytime soon. But I took upon myself the achrayus. What does it mean to be a dayan? So we learned in Hilchas Dayanim, in Zayin and Ches, it talks about that Tzarech HaDayanim, Leishev be'emo, be'yiro, ba'tifo, be'kevidreish, no dvarim be'telim, yira, be'facha. It talks about all that. You have to have chachma and anova and sinas maming, all these. Ke'ilu gehenim, pesoach tachas, tachtav. It's a gewaldige achrayus. But it also says, it's brought in Gemara Shabbos, a dayan should don din emes la'mitoi, afilu sha'achas. A dayan that adjudicates a halacha la'mitoi. He goes be'emes. What is the halacha, like Rabbi Hertz just said? Is the Gemara in Shabbos says, is Mailin Olav Akasav Ki'ilu Shutef Imakadosh Baruch Hu L'Maisa Bereishis. That's how great it is. Partner with the Eberstein, Maisa Bereishis. And the Mechaber brings up weiter in Ches or Tes. The Mechaber says, a dayan shadon din emes lamitai Ki'ilu tikun kol ha'olam kulei. Ki'ilu tikun kol ha'olam kulei. V'goydem Sheshchina Shruya B'Yisrael. What? Sheshchina Tishra B'Yisrael. It's a gewaltige, it's a responsibility. It's not just something, yeah, I took dayan, yeah, I did it, I got the paper. That's all fine and good. But to be a dayan is, how are we done din emes lamita today? Us Chavraya Kadisha that are not yet dayanim, sitting in a bezdin, but we have the title. Everyone knows the first Mishnah in Avos talks about V'anche Knesses Hakdaila, Heim Amru Shleishet Dvarim. They said three things: having misunim bedin, v'amidu talmidim harbe, v'asui siyag l'Torah. Right? The three things that, I mean, the Anshe Knesset Agdala, we're not going to get into who they were, but the three things that they said were that you should be patient, and according to Avos Reb Nelson, not to be confused with Shabuda Reb Nelson, a little insider joke for Dayanim. But obviously, Reb Nelson talks about that you should find it in Ba'amis and all the make boundaries and borders. It's the Rebbe in Tavshin Beis, in his Rishimis, in his personal diary that was found after Gimel Tammuz, the Rebbe talks about this point. And the Rebbe says, what's having Misunim Bedin? How are you done someone in the Deir Vuvya, that it's not black and white like it was that there was in the past. Now the Rebbe was sitting in Tavshin Beis, the war was still raging. And the Rebbe is writing in his notes that having Misunim Bedin, when you're looking at another Yid, you have to be patient, you have to find the schusim, you have to be deliberate, don't rush to judge. It's not about the echos, it's about the kamus. All the Yidden, everyone that's coming over into America and to all these parts, all the Tzebrachni Yidden, we have to be mekad of them and we have to look at them, b'sever panim yafis, and to be done l'kaf schus. Weiter in Avis. V'amidu talmidim harbe, the same word, to go out and to be mekad of Yidden and to influence Yidden by example. Ich bin adayin. Geht in Gas mit der Zitzes der Setze Chareis. A Yid wird sich der Monin, as hat amol gelernt Shema Yisrael. This was the Rebbe's whole point. Go out on Shlichus, go out to Mexico, go out and you walk in the street and you're walking be'emo, be'yira, you smile, b'sever panim yafis, and you treat a fellow Jew and you mekad of a fellow Jew. That's what the Anshe Knesset Agdala meant. Asus Yag L'Torah, and Dafkin, the Deir Vuvya, and the Dafkin, where we find ourselves now, you have to create boundaries. It's all about the boundaries. If without boundaries, everything falls apart. I want to thank Rabbi Wilhelm. I want to thank Rabbi Hecht. I want to thank the Chavraya Kadisha. I learned so much from all of you. I learned so much, and I take seriously now what I look at, what goes into my eyes, what goes into my ears, what goes into my mouth, what comes out of my mouth. These are all serious things that I take these very seriously and very literally. And in this chus of this gewaltige Simchas Peretz Geter, we should be zeicha to end all the mulchames, and Klal Yisrael should have shalom, peace, and shalva, and zechzene neinu b'shuv chotzin berachmin b'atzenu hakteisha b'meir v'meinu mamish l'chayim. Rabbi Wilhelm wanted me to remind everybody Tuesday night share is on Yerusha. Not this week. Okay. Is it straight? What? Yiddish.
Darf reden?
Yeah. Hashem is again.
No, 2 Minuten. No, 2 Minuten.
What?
That's gonna be the hard. Would like to now call upon a person I was able to have a lot of conversations with, different topics in Hilchos Dayanim, and hear his input on many other areas as well, on a personal level, but I think people over here heard a lot more. Rav Shlomo Klein.
Good.
Time Shlomo there.
First of all, I want Yiddish. Will maken toive zaan, Rabbi Willem, Reb Nachman. Wir gewähnt die Woche Shabbos bei Suche, mit einer noch gesucht etwas von der Punem Yufes, that it's mamish negai over here. Punem Yufes sucht ist, als steht, als Abu im Joim Koidem, Yitzidis Avlad, man macht es, Bas Ploini le Ploini, sucht der Punem Yufes, man rieft auch etwas, Talmud Ploini le Ploini. So, ich bin abel de Talmud, and as hier zo'n komen op maar Alababitche Rebbe, Malamed, the thing is that it's only it's not a blast as again a Talmud Ploini le Ploini de Punem Yufes. Ich habe es nicht gesehen inwendig. Ich kann nicht vouchen auf that, but du sagst mir etwas interessante Sachen, wie so ich bin umgekommen nachher.
Normal kein Zusammenstand.
Der Maßiger ist, ich muss sagen, ist, halt es mit. Aber Willem, sie steht deutlich, das Spiel mal alle so, hat man lernen, zu schwer, zu nicht gering. But Rabbi Willem's Programm, wenn wir kommen darauf, wir können haben die erste, nachmals, Tiddes als Mann, und sie können sagen, der worst mood, wir gehen darauf auf ein Ski, zu weten siehst. Man sieht, der Teufel wird mit Kien behucket. Und es ist nicht gleich, welche Ski ist. Die Ski, der andere Ski, so, das ist größer Marke. Ich habe gelernt, das sage ich bei anderen Mödern, was ich habe bekommen für Rabbi Willem, aber ich nicht bekommen, nichts anders. Aber mir geht geben a Tide du ist. The name on the Tide is wrong. Sie steigt Mama ist. But the real name was will gedaf Stein of name will gedaf Zama Bab. Man heißt es Heil. Alles was sie hat kommt von ihr. Sie ist the one that must spiel. And sie in the most sweetest way, you know, sie weiß das wie so mit direkt ist. Sie machen sicher, als ich stein mit dem Programm. Ich habe noch gedacht, sein auf der Train, und sie hat das aber, she was the driver. So, alles, was der Zettel ist ein bisschen, like, also wie sie stehen doch alles behind the scenes, sie steht sie weiter behind the scenes, so echt die Nummern. Nächstes Mal will ich bedanken, meine gute Eltern, mein Schwieger, wo sie mich geholfen die ganze Zeit. Und ich will noch sagen, was mir der letzte Ski gesucht ist, es gewinnt dort nach Ski, that was the test, hat der Ruf der Beuchen noch gesucht ist, als bei der Swardem halt man die Xibbe bei der Schwieger. In dem Programm, die ganze Sache, was sie kommt von der Wabe ist, aber sie kommt echt von der Schwieger. Sie hat es herangelegt, in Mavab sweetened es ab, also soll es kennen, wie so mir das tun ist, der Spur soll arbeiten. So zu einer extra Sache ist, als man meint, ist, als ich mit der eigenen Küche ist, nein, zu Fuß zurück, auf die Steuer ist am Eichel. Last will ich sagen ist, dass meine Kinderlich, sie haben echt sie geholfen zu der Sache ist, because the timing, Tati, ich darf an 3 du, aber aus der Ski, in den Zeiten von der Ski darf man sagen, still. And ich habe ein bisschen gecheatet mit dem Programm. I was expediting it. Und ich bin gegangen auf noch Schienen. So, Montag ist die Zeit, und Mittwoch ist jene Zeit, und Dienstag ist jene Zeit. Jeden Tag ist andere Zeiten. Und der Maße gerade ist, die Kinder halten mit. Sie machen, die ganze Stieb dreht sich herum, aber Willem Ski. Die Schaße Ski darf man sagen, still. In Fahne Ski darf man machen, sicher, als Tati wird nicht busy. Und Tati geht darauf. Und zu sagen, die ganze, die Jülich Heilig dreht sich nicht. Und ein Gitz von dem ist, also will noch wissen, was man dort gerät. Sie drehen mitzuhalten. But, ich will noch sagen, eine Sache ist, ein Ding ist. Man tun wir nicht zusammen. Okay. Le Maße gerät ist gewöhnlich, wenn man bei Kindern sie zu sagen, Juden, sie zu sagen, Jöre. Der Nisse von der Welt ist, als ich habe geendigt, ich habe gelernt und ich habe gefinisht. Und wieso ich mich ausgelernt für Rabbi Willem ist, als Arbeit ist du ein bisschen anders. First of all is, get a hard time anzugehen in the Programm. Wie sie, ich bin umgekommen anzugehen in the Programm, mit der Eide, mit der Schwäge, gespielt der Politik. Macht mich finally ungenehm. Jetzt, wenn sie Kinder smiechen, ist nicht so wie es, muss jetzt geendigt lernen. Das Smieche ist, telling you is, jetzt kannst du unheimen lernen, Choshe Mishpit. Das heißt, es ist jetzt geworden accepted in die Yeshiva von Choshe Mishpit, dass wir kannst unheimen zu lernen und wir können es machen bei der Bewillungsprogramm, manche sagen, we're doing that, aber wir können es nicht mal allein. Normaal, ich sehe es auf mir ist, ich sitze hier am Besen, if einer weiß nicht, ich bin als teuer Rabuni, ich advertise mich durch, if einer darf wissen, whatever. But Normaal, ich sehe im Besen ist, wenn ich habe umgehoben, ich habe getan, so whatever. Hante gezahlt, ich komme im Besen, ich gebe Schirem. Was ich gehört für Rabbi Willem Azoi, was ich gehört für Rabbi Willem Azoi ist, der Rabuni werden ein bisschen unterwegs ist, aber ich gebe Schirem, und noch dem Suche Rippe, was ich gesagt. So, der Eibischte soll helfen. Ja. Nog een zaak dat ik vergat mijn Gabriese.
Okay.
The parents, my Gabriese, the lawyer, that every night he reminds me as ik darf lenen in Milan, in zijn geschmack.
2 Banditen, ein Lawyer mit der Teil.
Finish. Oh, nog bij de oilem, mijn mama daar voor de 4 schelijmen, ze hebben hooggewogen aan, de noemen is Rufkelai, Bas Esteraze, we zullen er zijn noemen.
As introduced by Rabbi Klein, would like to now call upon his Chavrusa, Rabbi Peretz Bronston of Crown Heights.
My Chavrusa Shlomo said his wife's name should have been on the Teuda. And by there's opinions nowadays, a woman can get smicha. So it's past. It's a joke. I was interested in doing it because I'm a lawyer. I'm actually Oisik B'Dinim Mamanes as a lawyer, monetary matters, investments, and that's why I have interest in Choshen Mishpat. And I actually used to teach classes to lawyers taking concepts in American law and how Halacha teaches it. I really enjoyed it. I just want to say one thing. I can't stand ever sitting in classes my whole life. I always left class, avoided class. I'm mamish. Rabbi Wilhelm Shir, I enjoy it. First of all, he's funny. It's entertaining. You have the first thing, Milster B'dichasa. You have the Milster B'dichasa. It's interesting. He knows the stuff very well. He explains it well, and he has a lot of patience. We had a lot of Kim in this question, and there's a lot of arguing, and he was very patient. He always answered. So I want to thank Rabbi Wilhelm. I really enjoyed it. It was thank you very much. I hope to. Some of the other thing I was very surprised. Some of the students in this class, guys, working guys, they're not sitting in kollel, that they knew it clawed. It's not just like some. I thought it was going to be a bunch of light balabatim that know all the every shach, every smeh could say. I was shocked what these guys, a number of the people in the class, like Rabbi Saban, he's an engineer from France. He knows the stuff. Right. So anyway, thank you very much. I enjoyed it, and yes, Hashem.
Very nice.
My joke? Live Batid.
Okay, we'll continue now to the next Chavrusa. Chavrusa Shaf Baruch Hashem is doing very well here. We'll call upon Rabbi Yossi Freeman to share a few words.
Hi. Lechem. First thing, you have to thank Hashem. So thank you, Hashem. We come to this point. As everybody before me has thanked Rabbi Wilhelm for making such a wonderful program. Shkoyach Rabbi Wilhelm. Of course, the phenomenal group that we're all a part of. It's amazing how certain circumstances bring us people together, and we can have an amazing experience. Just want to say a small word that there's a great simcha that happened in Lubavitch around 1958, Shavuos time. The first Muga Sicha of the Rebbe came out was Shavuos Tavshin Chai. It's printed in the Kutei Sicha Chelik Beis. Shavuos. It's the first Sicha that the Rebbe was Muga, finally came out. And it's a long Sicha, but one of the points is that the Rebbe writes that Hillel's Mechayiv Aniyim and the Rebbe ben Charsum is Mechayiv Ashirim. This is regarding learning Torah. When you come Lemaila after Meves and Shana, and you say, I couldn't learn Torah, so upstairs they'll tell you, if you were an Ani or your Usher, Hillel was Mechayiv all Aniyah. If you were poor, Hillel says, the whole Hemshech in the Gemara, that the Hillel was poor and he gave half his money to the guard. That's a Maisa, you can look it up in the Gemara. And Eliezer ben Chassan was an usher. He said he had 1,000 cities with 1,000 ships. A schum that we can't imagine. He learned Torah day. He used about Yom V'Layla. The Rebbe asked a very simple question. He's like, "What's the big chiddush of the Gemara here?"
If the person Taka was mechayiv to learn Torah, he says he had to learn Torah. And if Taka al pi halacha he was busy working and he couldn't learn, then al pi din he's not chayiv to learn. What's the Gemara telling us? All right, that the tzad din. Yes, Taka al pi Torah al pi din he's parted from learning, but to lead them koch and the geschmack was Torah. I learned Torah is a reise v'kutebricha kulu chad. That the joy that he has learning Torah and Hashem are one. Chat menon. So he takes time and he enjoys Torah so much that even if he's party, he learns Torah. So as Rabbi Willem said by our test, that when he introduces the Rabbanim, that they imagine Gavin inside, that they rob time. So the person I rob the most is of my wife. That the shiurim are perfect timing, especially when you have a lot of children at home. So we have to thank my wife, and especially all the family that came from near and far, from New York and Brazil and all over the world. And I also like to thank my Yedid Hayakar, my Chavrusa, for decades. Baruch Hashem. We saw Gazinski, who was a yeshiva in Florida. So we still time together. If it's at 6:30 or 6:15 in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning or 5:45 in the morning, whatever time we can manage to rob. That's the time that we learn. And Mamish is like Shneur says, starts off your day on a whole different level. So just mice good point. If everyone's inspired to learn, there's a few tips I want to give. First is you should have a bren that you push to want to learn, but it doesn't last forever. So when you have the bren, make a seder, join a program, have a support group, meaning your wife should support you and your family should support you, and have a good chavrusa because it gives you accountability and it helps you out. It keeps you boost each other up. And I want to wish everybody a chesima v'chesima tova, shana tova m'sukkah.
Amen.
We'll now call the Chavrusa, Abba Yisrael Gaizinski, Rosh Yeshiva in Miami, to share a few words.
Are you making flow charts? Flow charts.
They have a rule for public speaking that goes roughly like this. A joke, you're not allowed to repeat for at least 12 months. A story, you have to wait 6 months. And a vart, that v'atayra, you could say twice in the same drasha. That's how people's attention span works. So I want to thank Rabbi Wilhelm. You know, it's Ashkacha Pratis, we're coming, it's Mamish, yesterday was Chai Elu, we celebrated such a special day, and the way it's put, that Chai Elul is a day that brings a chayis into the avodah of Elul. Elul was traditionally, you know, history is divided into 2 stages, right? BC, before Chassidus, and after Chassidus. So before Chassidus, it was very, very tricky. It was very, very sad and depressing. And Chai Elul came to make a chayis, to bring a chayis, an excitement, a passion, a positivity into the avodah of Elul. So I want to thank Rabbi Willow it's a Hashgacha Pratis that he did a similar thing with us. I was thinking Choshen Mishpat. Most people, you think of Choshen Mishpat, it's very dry. It's legal stuff. And he found a way to make it such a chayas, so exciting everything. And he used all three. He did. There was always, besides for the actual learning, there was always a vart and a story and a joke. And that brought I think that makes the biggest chayas, and it was really appreciated. So shukaya. And also want to thank my chavrusa. It all started with a phone call 2.5 weeks ago, 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, I was like I was not thinking about anything like this, and he called me up, and it was a lechatchila river thing, and it was really, really, really special. Like they mentioned already before all the academics and learning is amazing, but what it does to you, it changes you as a person. You become someone who wakes up early in the morning and learns Torah before you do anything else in a consistent way. That already has the biggest brachas, even before you get to the subject material. And the last thanks is for the whole Chabura. I know most nights with my family, Baruch Hashem, and bedtime right in the middle. I was usually it was on silent and the screen was off because you don't want to know what was going on the other side. But I was really, really enjoying everyone's their own original, unique input. It was very, very special. Shkoyach.
Hey, where's the camera? Hey, there's gonna be a group photo also.
This is
Nobody can leave.
This is
Gonna change the film. Didn't think it'd be here so long.
Before I move forward with the next person, I just want to remind everyone, or if you can notice on the tables, there is a contrasim of kitzurim and different halachis. These are kitzurim and halachis that were learned in the shir, Ilches Dayanim, Eidus, Mori, Ilches Nachlas, which we're going into in Mitzvah Hashem next, as well as Ilches Mezuzah, which is just appropriate for the time, Chodesh Elu, a time to check the Tzulah Mezuzahs. So this is all on the table. We'd now like to call upon Ari Green, whichever way you spell it, share a few words with the Olam.
All right. Thank you all for coming. And my father and everyone else, and Shkoyach to Wilhelm and to the whole Chabura. I'm gonna really try to keep this 2 minutes or less. In this week's parasha, right, we have Atar Yitzhak Hayom, and the pasuk says, "Lo yitzchem levadchem anochi kairis habris hazoyis v'sal hazoyis kias asher yashnu payim min hayom lefnei Hashem ve'eis asher enenu pay." And I feel this pasuk is very appropriate. Today with the technology, Zoom and Google Meets and the different programs we have. We broke down the distance barrier. We have people from all over the world learning together, something that I've never experienced before, although Dr. Grossman, I don't know if you remember me from the Pirkei Shanim Shchita, we have done a similar type of program before, but that was pretty much focused on the United States, the tri-state area. This is really unbelievable, really across the world, and I only joined relatively recently, like Shlomo was saying. I did the expedited version, taking multiple shiurim and cramming the whole Hilchos Halva during Elzman. Baruch Hashem made it, and it's really great to be here today, having finished everything. And we are no longer in Enu Pais. Now we met each other face to face, and it happens to be I was shopping for Erev Shabbos in Lakewood, and I'm walking down the aisle with my son. We go shopping Erev Shabbos, and to my left is Shlomo, which I was looking at like, I think I know you from somewhere. I was like, he is a lot taller than I thought. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who said that. But
Baruch Hashem, and I'm actually I'll make a request I made on the WhatsApp chat, but maybe the Rabbim it'll have a little more weight. I want to tell you a little bit to follow you to some Dini Torah to see how it's done and see how the halachas are put into action. I could be like the assistant Tayyid or something. I don't know. If these are, I don't know if Din Torah is a closed door affair. I'm not sure. But definitely, if it's an option, I would love to go. And it was really beautiful learning Chayshim Mishpat and hopefully taking the next step, finishing more of the Halachas Nachlos and all the other halachas, filling in the gaps. And Amir Tashem, we should always zeicha to go mala mala. Ksivach sima taiva.
Would like to now call up a native of the Shchunas Karanites, Rabbi Mendel Schneerson, to share a few words. I'm going to have to wing it because I didn't expect to say anything. I'm going to have to wing it because I didn't expect that I was going to say anything, but you can't refuse. In Mesavim Legodl, everybody's talking about their chevruses. I had the best chevrus. Rabbi Wilhelm was my chevrus. The Gemara in Hori sagt, Hakel tzrichim l'mora chetaya. Pirush, what's the pirush from Hakel tzrichim l'mora chetaya? That you have to have a person like Rabbi Yosef. That the Mishnah and the Braise is Misuder Lefon of Kinsinosim Besinai. People don't realize. You learn with a chavrusa, you sit by a shir, Rabbi Wilhelm gives a shir, and versteht sich, it's a lebedik shir, and it goes back and forth. But if you take a look, the kitzurim that Rabbi Wilhelm made, these kitzurim are the mechaber, the Shach, and the Smeh, and the Bayer Heitev, and the Pischei Tshuva, and the Sivis, and Rabbi Akiva Eger, and the Vilna Gaon, and everybody else. So how can you have a better chavrusa than Rabbi Wilhelm? And the Yesher Koach for making the shir so desirable that I look forward to the shir. My wife is my Aedis. That when I would come home, then everybody knew that from 7:30 to 8:30, come hell or high water, I was busy, and I looked forward to it during the day. Just want to mention one thing. Rabbi Hertz mentioned the Chaim, and Rabbi Afton mentioned also about the Nutatis and everything. The first shir we had from Rabbi Shochat, the uncle of Rabbi Wilhelm, who was supposed to be our masmich. He threw out a question to everybody. What did he throw out? He threw out, why are you learning Dayanis? So I was thinking to myself, he's asking a question. I said that my brother had a heroah from the Rebbe to learn Dayanis. What's good for my brother is good for me. He says, no, that's not why you're learning Dayanis. Thinking to myself, maybe he means the Mishnah in Baba Basra. No. And then I thought to myself, and then he says, why do you need to learn Dayanis? You need to learn Dayanis that everything that you have, in your rishus came to you beheter, that you shouldn't chas v'sholom have anything that's b'gneva gzeli in your rishus. So I was thinking to myself for a second, and I said, man is right. My mother, Aleh Shalom, used to come to us very often, and she wasn't mobile. And my brother ordered from Amazon a ramp. Contrary to what we thought is a small ramp, a ramp that you can put a Greyhound bus on came and took up the whole space. So we called up Amazon, come to take it back. Amazon says it doesn't pay for them for the shipping and everything to take it back, whatever it is, keep it. I heard later that some people game the system this way. There are certain things that they order, knowing that Amazon is not going to take it back. Is that Shaila? Abed came to them beheaded, it is Chas V'Sholom B'nei Zayla, or whatever it is. Figured that's what he means. Rabbi Shachat meant that that you have to be sure that things came to you beheaded. Again, I want to thank all the Rabbanim HaMasmichim, and I want to thank Rabbi Wilhelm and all the people that were mishtatev, who made it lively and lebedik. And last but not least, even though my wife warned me not to say, I guzzled away from her time. I took away from her time. And she was the one that pushed me to do it, and the Ashikoyach comes to her. Thank you very much.
So, Walter, you gonna get a picture?
Wait a second.
Oh, it's on video.
Wait, go ahead. That's not They took off right away. How'd it come on? Let me see. I'm gonna come on. I can't do the program because that happened. I'm serious. These late people. Let me ask you this.
Would now like to call upon a person I've been interacting with for many, many years. He's been going with us a year. Now he's finishing Yodin Yodin. Continuing. Choshen Mishpat, Rabbi Dr. Elliot Grossman.
Is this working? Yeah. Oh. It's such a pleasure to meet all of you in person. Quite different from the little screen. And I must say that as it always was, that I get practically no prior knowledge that I'm supposed to come and give a speech. Usually I get a text in about 20 minutes and says, I can't make it, can you give the shiur tonight? So and I'm pleased to tell you that I never turned him down. I just want to say that Shmuel HaNavi said to Shaul when he first met him, he said, hang out with me, hang out with me, and you'll become a completely different person. And the next thing you know, Hagam Shol Banviyim. I look around at this illustrious group of Rabbanim and wonderful people, and I say, I can't believe that I am here with you, and how pleased I am to be with you in the presence of my wife and my children,
how much I have changed in the number of years that I have been associated with the program, and I can't thank you enough for inviting me and allowing me to participate with you. L'hagdil Torah v'yadim.
Thank you very much.
I'll put it in a very prominent place.
Thank you very much. Would now like to call up a person I got to speak with a little bit this morning, a fascinating journey all the way from the West Coast, from Phoenix, Rabbi Warnick, to share a few words.
Okay, thank you. Evidently, they saved the most humble one for last. You're not last. Well, almost last. First of all, mazel tov to all my chaverim who we've learned together the last few years. And for those who did not have the zchus to learn with us, I have to tell you, no matter what you hear tonight, you will not know how good this program was. When I originally inquired about joining the program, I had seen Rabbi Wilhelm's little shurim on different halachas, and I sometimes incorporated it into my classes. So I thought it would probably be a pretty good program. And I teach 8th grade Gemara, Tosfos, but it's at a 13, 14-year-old's level. And I was looking for something to extend myself that I should learn. And I thought structured program, it'll go. But I totally underestimated the program. I would say that we were all forced back into yeshiva. It wasn't just for Balabatim to learn something structured. We really learned. And not forced with a fist, chas v'shalom, but forced by having to keep up with incredibly in-depth and wonderful shurim, by the push from the chaverim that everyone's learning together, and the questions that are asked. And for anyone who's sitting here tonight and starting to get the interest, maybe I should look into one of the programs. I couldn't recommend it enough. So I'd like to thank the rabbi for himself, also for all the wonderful guest shurim and the tests, and being exposed to different people who also shared their insights. Thank you very much. And thank you to the chaverim. And I look forward to continuing on the next step of the journey. Thank you.
Would now like to call up a person who is a businessman, yet a shliach in his own way, spreading the wellsprings of Torah and Chassidus in Chinese, Rabbi Matisyahu Trush.
Thank you, Rabbi Wilhelm, for this. 谢谢大家，非常荣幸有机会对你们举脸。谢谢。你可能不知道我在说些什么呢，但其实我要告诉你一下，我们有这么一个永通的机会，每个星期2次学习，跟这么好的学生，真是很难得的。So thank you, Rabbi Wilhelm, who have, through your great leadership and vision, started this course first for Smicha, and then for Dayanis. And I also have to thank my Chavrusa, I guess all of our Chavrusas, Rabbi Dr. Elliott, who has been an inspiration to all of us, keeping us on our toes as well. Chai Elul, we just passed, this is the highest of Elul. And all of us, I have to say, from France, from Coral Springs, from Houston, from LA, we're all here together. And I have to say, I got from more than one person that, you look a lot taller on the screen. So this is, he's agreeing. This is such an exciting occasion for all of us, because not only have we been able to learn together in such an exciting and challenging way, but now we actually get to meet, and with this great learning that we've done together, we take this chayas to our families. We all have to thank our wives for their commitment and for their love and support during, as we said, that difficult hour in the house. And also we're here for our children. My sons, Moshe David and Nachum Mendel are here today. And we have special guests, Ms. Karlarsky, Ms. Yael Roth, Molly Resnick, and some other great guests who have come. Yitzi, the man. We're all here because this is such an amazing thing. And so I guess I want to parallel what Rabbi Dr. Elliott said, is that Rabbi Wilhelm is not only creating students or rabbis or dayanim, but he's changing our mitzias. We become new people. So we all have to say thank you for us, for our families, for our children, and for generations to come. Kasiva, Besiva Tova, Shana Tova, Masuka. Thank you, Rabbi Wilhelm, and thank you. Go ahead. So we happen to having a campaign now to spread the light of the cities in Chinese, charity.com/outwards, and we hope you will all celebrate with us to bring Mashiach sooner to billions of people worldwide. Thank you.
Better hold it.
I'd like to call up Rabbi Barber, one of the Boichanim Masmichim, to share a few words.
Rabbi Wilhelm asked, and he suggested that I come and beat Day Shabbos because the Musbachim, those who wear a kapata, will be coming in Big Day Shabbos, and how will it look that those who gave the fahers will come in regular clothing? And the answer is very, well, as you could see, Rabbi Wilhelm is persuasive, and I actually listened to what he said. But I can understand why the Talmidim, the Messiahim, have come in Big Day Shabbos, because this truly is a simcha, it's a yom tov, it's palatable from the individuals, their families, their children, their guests, and Yoser Mikulam is, I would say, that you've inspired myself to increase my learning, to increase my involvement in Choshen Mishpat, and for that I'm forever grateful. And besides the fact the exercise when we have to get up and down every time to take the photo. So I just want to say that Rabbi Wilhelm, you are blessed to have him as a role model, as a teacher. You have plenty of people who are Go'einim, who are very, very great Talmidei Chachamim, but they lack the ability to convey it in a meaningful, practical way, and even more than that, to inspire their Talmidim to then take the next step in their own personal learning. And just sitting here and hearing, I think this is a testament that when you're on a good thing, stick to it, that even though you have finished, I, Baruch Hashem, received Smich and Dayanis from a Rav Hirschsprung and a Rav Pikarski, and each of them used to always say that this is just the beginning, this is not the end. So, in Yetz Hashem, the same hislavus and love that you have for Torah now, it should continue. You should find others to inspire them to join Rabbi Wilhelm's program. And this is the beauty of being on Zoom. You could have 1,000 Talmidim. In a classroom setting, it's challenging. But over Zoom, it's not a problem. And Rabbi Wilhelm should have the largest Smicha and Dayanis program in the world. And if he does, we get a bit of a percentage. So it's actually a very good thing. I wish everyone Tzivach Simatova, a good Gebet Jar, and thank you for allowing me to participate in your wonderful simcha.
I would now like to call up a special guest, special Talmid who came all the way from France to join us here today, Rav Moshe Saban.
Paris, Rav Moshe speaking.
We never get interrupted.
פשוט מורנו הרב, רבי wilhelm, פשוט הרבנים, קהל הקדוש. זה היום עשה השם נגילה ונשמחה בו. בו בשם ובו ביום. It is a wonderful gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu grants us. I'm sure it's a great Ilui Neshama for my dear parents. And I will say a few words. The Ilui Nishmat Rav David ben Rav Dov Yehuda, whose harifut, wrapped in love, we miss so much. It's amazing to be here with my beloved wife, Leah, who lights up my life and was given so much for us to carry out this project together. May Hashem grant her all that her pure heart desires. To be here with our daughters, Sarah and Anael, who, along with their brother and sister, Shimon and Velia, and my son-in-law, are such a source of strength and confidence. May Hashem bestow upon them all His blessings. Thanks to the Rabbanim who followed us, always in a subtle balance between high standards and benevolence. Thank you to my dear friends of the Limud group. Solidarity, sharing, exchanges on the text, sometimes beyond the text. I want to say a very special thank to you, Rabbi Avtzon, for your knowledge of Torah, for your humility, availability, and precious help throughout the course. On Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol brings the Ketoret Lifnai Velifnim. The Aaron is Eino Min Abida, because there is no space, as we know it, in Hashem's world. And there is then a fusion of the physical world with the world of Hashem. This is the exclusive experience of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, to be able to live in the world of Hashem. Yes, that's right. We are infinitely grateful to Rabbi Wilhelm for the quality and clarity of his teaching, for the enormous work he does so that we can understand, progress, master halacha as much as we are able to, and go beyond. I share with you the fact that my master in Marseille, Rabbi Yeshurun, to whom I owe most of my initial training, has also tested me regularly throughout this period of study and tells me how amazed he is by the work done. Yes, that's right, we are infinitely grateful to Rabbi Wilhelm for the confidence he instilled. Yes, that's right, we are infinitely grateful to Rabbi Wilhelm because he structures our minds, not only in terms of reasoning in halacha, but also in terms of our approach to life. With a story by Dvar Torah and above all by the attention he has towards each of us, by the very personal relationship he has with each of us, and for all the midot he exemplifies. In studying with Rabbi Wilhelm, we respect the request of our sages in Chagiga Tetvav to drink from the Torah of the Master who resembles an angel. Yes, that's right. We are infinitely grateful to Rabbi Wilhelm for all this. But I would like to say that beyond all that, there is something so incredible for which I am infinitely grateful to Rabbi Wilhelm. It is to have given me a taste of the experience of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. The Aaron is Eino Min Amida, because there is no space, as we know it, in Hashem's world. Rabbi Wilhelm lives in the world of Hashem. There is no space in this world, no distance, no time difference. We are together so close. When the neshamos communicate, no physical reality stands in the way of unity. Thank you, Rabbi, for giving my family and me the delight of experiencing this spiritual reality. May Hashem allow you to continue to illuminate the world with your teaching at Merveilleux.
Would now like to call up, all the way from Florida, the Baron Yaakov Lev, to share a few words.
I don't think I can top Moshe Saban's speech. It was very heartsick. I just want to share a personal story. My wife and I were staying here at an Airbnb, and Friday night, as you guys do here in Crown Heights, you have lock boxes where you keep your keys. And I was coming to the apartment, and there's no light. I can't open up the lockbox. So I was thinking to myself, it's so funny. Sometimes you can have the key. You can have the lock inside the key. It's in your hand. You know the code. You can get in. But all you need is a little bit of light from the outside. So it leads me to one simple thing. I wanted to thank Rabbi Wilhelm. Like somebody mentioned, that his classes are very, very exciting, very enlightening, and informative. When I joined this program, I was partially looking for something a little deeper than reading, Sikha once a week, half of it, trying to remember the second half. And I remember the first class, I think I lost like 10 pounds of water just from sweating because the speed was a little bit over my head. And thank God the program turned out to be very good, great success. It was exciting, it was very interesting. And big yeshkar to Rabbi Wilhelm for making the program, for leading the program, for making the classes, kitzurim, and all the shurim, and making it possible for people like me who, work a little bit, have a few kids, and don't have a particular time to, go to school, go to yeshiva, to learn things like this online. Thank you, Rabbi Wilhelm.
He was heading back to Florida. I caught him in the pizza shop last night. He's not going back to Florida.
Very nice. Yeah.
Go with yourself?
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
I get it back. Why? I'm cussing the word.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
For you, Rabbi.
Not for me.
Almost getting towards the end. Would like to now call a Talmid who's been with Rabbi Wilhelm with the program for a couple of years now, also doing first Yoyer and now learning Choshen Mishpah for the last couple of years. Rabbi Yehuda Yaron.
Good evening. In Hebrew we said, לא אומרים בפניו, yeah. So in this case I have no choice. I have to talk about Rabbi Williams. I know him many years, and most probably I will know him more in the future. It's a pleasure to be with him, student, so long. I study a lot in university in Israel, a lot of degrees, but someone like him, it's very difficult to find. You hear him one time, and it's stuck in your mind. And this is something that really pleasure to be with him and spend all this time with him. So the Rebbe, there was a book that talked about the Rebbe, that they said over there that people go to the Rebbe, they ask so many bakashot, so many things. He gave them their answer, but most of them never come back and say thank you. But that's the reason why I said in this case, I have to say thank you to Rabbi William. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Push you a little. Thank you. Okay.
Last but not least, would like to now call up Rabbi David Wolfman to share a few words. Just a small reminder, after this at the end, we'd like to take a group picture, and if anyone wants to take family pictures, etc., photographer will do that as well.
So much was said so far. If I will add on, I just will take off. So I just will say thank you very much for the Chevraya at Rabbi Willem. It was a great learning, and it is a great learning. It was, and it will be. Allah is Varavaya. Ayevavia should be tremendous assault.
Oh man.
I have to smile all the time. All right, my name is Rabbi Shai.
You don't want to share.
7:30.
Before I forget the regulars, I want to acknowledge some of the people who have traveled from far to be here, and some of the people who I haven't seen in a long time, or some of the people, Talmidim, I've seen for the first time. I appreciate you coming out. First of all, I want to give a special bracha to Moshe Gottman and Ken Goldfarb, came from New Jersey. Ken, I hope you don't mind if I say, Refuah Shalem soll sein gesund und stark. You should be well and all good. And there are some Talmidim who I see for the first time from Flatbush, and whoever else came, and we meet for the first time, Bruchim Habayim. Everybody who got up here was when they started talking about the Dvar Torah, besides all the praises and all the shvachim, it was always about Aretzel Ahachkim Yasik B'dinim Mamadis. That's the Lashon of the Gemara in Baba Basra. And many people ask, why does it say the Lashon Yasik? Aretzel Ahachkim Yasik B'dinim Mamadis. Derech Agav, I'll tell you an interesting story. Like Shlomo says, there's always a story. Rabbi Feller, the Shliach in Minnesota, 60 years ago, used to write the Sichos from the Rebbe translated in English, and he used to put it into the Jewish press. So one time, he translated the famous Sicha that the Rebbe says in Pirkei Avos, Kol ha'isik b'Torah zochel l'dvarim harbe, and the Rebbe was saying that you have to learn Torah like business, just like a person when he does business, he schwitzes and he does extra. Where can he make an extra buck? So limit Torah has to be that way. So when Rabbi Feller translated in English, he said that you should do Torah like business, and the Rebbe added 2 words: at least. Limit Torah should be the ASEC should be at least like business. Anyways, that's Derech Agav. Aretzel Ahachkim Yasik B'dinim Mamadis. So there's, okay, everybody mentioned that. I'm not going to go there. But I do want to share with you a sicha that the Rebbe speaks about in this week's parsha, in Parshas Vayelech. This week is the Tzavim Vayelech. There's a pasuk in Parshas Vayelech where the Eibusha says to Yeshua, Moshe says to Yeshua, I want you to take the Sefer, I want you to take the Aron. The Lashon HaPasuk is, L'koyach HaSefer HaTorah Zeh, V'samtem Oisam B'tzad Aron B'rus Hashem. Take the Sefer Torah and put it literally mitzad Aron B'ris Hashem, alongside the Aron B'ris Hashem. So Rashi brings a machlekes in the Gemara Baba Basra. Where was this Sefer Torah? One opinion says it was mitzad Aron B'ris Hashem. There was a daf, there was a board coming out of the Aron, and on that board you put the Sefer Torah. The second opinion says it wasn't mitzad, it was inside. And there's many, many differences in halacha, the space of the aron, how big the luchas were, different shittas depending on where this Sefer Torah was. The Rebbe, in his phenomenal way of teaching, explains that these 2 shittas are 2 ways of teaching Torah. The luchas is the aseres hadibros. Aseres hadibros are klolos haTorah. The Torah is the pratei haTorah, the details. So in the Aron was the luchas. That's l'chaladayas. The luchas were in the Aron. That's the klolos kol haTorah kula. But after you have the general klolos kol haTorah kula, very general, you have to have the detail. You have to interpret it and explain it. So you have to have the Sefer Torah b'pratel. How do you teach pratei Torah? This is the machlekes between the 2 shittas. Obviously, everything starts from the Torah. Everything starts from the cloud. Everything starts from the luchas. Well, one opinion says you can't go too far. That Sefer Torah has to be mamish in the luchas. Has to be in the aron together with the luchas. But the chesaron with that is that when you teach that way, you're shoving it down the other person's throat. It's not that person accepting it. It's how how Torah is so pure. It's in the luchas. Not everybody can reach that level. The second shitta says you take the Torah and you put it ala dav boilek mina aron. There's a board coming out of the aron. Of course, the Sefer Torah is extremely important. And of course, the Sefer Torah is details, the pratim from the luchos. But take it out, bring it out close enough to the Aron, but make sure the other person is able to develop in his mind, and he internalizes it and he grows with it. I think what you've heard tonight, exactly that point. Everybody came, everybody enjoyed learning, not because you are a yeshiva bacher, and as we grew up, the teacher and twisted you ever, Chayder, and forced you. Nobody forced you. You came on your own. You enjoyed it because you wanted to learn. And when you internalize it and you learn at your level, it has a much more everlasting effect. So my bracha is everybody should continue learning. Everybody will have a ksiv, and this is just the beginning, as everybody says. There's many more. First of all, some of you didn't finish, but there's many good programs. I shouldn't say many other continuation. I spoke. Rabbi Hertz gave me a structure of different halachas that he wants to continue in Choshen Mishpat. We're starting off with Hilchas Nachlas. I actually made 2 more structures. Next year and a half, which will be Hilchas Nachlas plus, and I have a year and a half after that, which will be Mekach HaMemkar stuff, and this came mumming. So if you guys are in this for the long run, just stick together. One thing I could tell you, it's not my first rodeo, as you see, right? This group somehow gelled together in such a phenomenal way. It's not, everybody became like a chavrusa, everybody became like a family. And who knows, I might even end up in Mexico because it's my party, I might come. So who knows? But kol hakavod, Rabbi Say Chizku Vimtzu and Ksiv V'Chsim.
Oh man, beautiful. Very nice.
Now we get the ice cream. Now we pull off the ice cream. Oh,
yeah, do it now.
Everybody, please take. There's some English stuff for the English-speaking people. There is consideration for Hilchas Dayanis, Hilchas Edis, Hilchas Gvias Chayiv, Hilchas Ariv, Hilchas Chayiv B'Nitan. There's not enough time in the day. I'm almost finished Hilchos Halva, but that's everything in this cycle. And the next cycle we're working on. All right. Please, everybody who got a certificate or has, we're making a group photo right now. Okay. Some people have to drive to Lakewood. Some people have to fly back to France.
Thank you. Stand at the picture with it like a man.
We have to cross our conference in the air.
We're not done. This is just the beginning.
We better make sure I've been nudging him to continue.
Of course he'll continue. What do you think?
Of
Of course he's continuing. What are you kidding me? He loves this. He can't stop even if he wants to.
Hey, you get back here.